This is our podcast. Yeah. I was like, is this Patreon? Is this podcast?
Weekly. Yeah.
Hello.
Hi.
Welcome back.
Welcome back. And we're still kind of in the holiday theme of it all because, I mean, this will be coming out in the middle of the holidays. Currently, it's
This
right
is the day
before
after
Christmas for us. Yes. The 26th, exactly. So Merry Christmas
Merry
to
Christmas,
those of you
everyone.
that celebrate Christmas, and happy holidays to everyone, whatever it is that you celebrate this time of year.
Yeah.
There's a lot, I mean, I don't know.
I hope everyone
Yeah.
had fun with their families.
Yes,
That we
yes.
got all of our gifts. If we got any gifts, that it's the gifts that we love.
Absolutely. And that there was no family drama, that everything was kosher and good,
Especially with our episode prior
prior to this. Yeah.
talking about holiday stress. We hope that everyone did not have any of that.
Yeah, absolutely. That I want as smooth as possible. Knock on wood for us because we're recording this before Christmas.
Yes. We do not know how our Christmas is going to go.
We will hope for the best. So yeah, and now because of that, we're going to be talking about the benefits, the medical benefits of spending time with your loved ones. Because of course, it's still December. There's still New Year's. There's still more holidays afoot. So we don't really get to skedaddle from our family yet.
Yeah, just yet.
And those, obligatory functions, get-togethers, parties, all those things. So
The weirdest thing, though, is me going back to work for a couple days and then getting off again.
yeah.
And the clinics are packed.
Yeah, because everybody's like waiting for you guys to come back for those like few days or whatever. But anyways, there are medical benefits to being with people that you love and people you get along with and all those sorts of things. So we're going to be talking about that today.
Yes, I love this. I love spending, holidays with loved ones.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the benefits of it.
Yes.
So we are social creatures and we need to interact with others to thrive.
Yeah.
Okay. That's human interaction. That's what we need. In fact, spending time with family and friends can have a positive impact. In fact.
Hey, you were the first one this time around.
I know.
Go figure that. And look, we just started. Well, no, I lie.
No, we had our margaritas.
That's right, for lunch.
We took a little lunch break.
Yeah, we decided to treat ourselves because,
I know.
life.
Okay.
Anyway,
so
wow.
We're social creatures. We need that human to human interaction. So spending time with family and friends can have a positive impact on our physical and mental health. It can reduce our stress. It can reduce inflammation. It can improve our sleep, our mood, and it can even lower our risk to chronic diseases and premature death.
Yeah.
So who doesn't want all of those things?
Yeah, honestly. Yeah.
I want all of that, especially the sleep part.
You and I both. Like, if you've heard the sleep episodes, you know.
I actually sleep really well, but ever since my baby, it's
Yeah. No,
sleep is a luxury.
it really is.
So in this episode, we're going to dive deeper into the science behind these benefits and share some tips on how to stay connected with your loved ones and in a safe and meaningful way.
Yeah.
I mean, how special is that?
I know.
What more do we want?
I know. And it's a time of year for that. It's the season for that, So,
This is good for you. This is good for the soul.
yeah.
So
We're not
spending
being cheesy.
No, we're not.
We're really trying not
I'm really
to.
trying not to be. But it's the holidays. It
Yeah.
can be a little cheesy. So spending time with loved ones can help you cope with stress. It provides emotional support, comfort, and a sense of belonging.
Yep.
So social interaction can also trigger the release of hormones that reduce stress and increase happiness, such as oxytocin. That's a very famous hormone, especially with the baby and all of that. But we can have release of oxytocin in other situations,
Absolutely.
such as happiness. So it's actually the happy hormone.
Yes.
Okay. And it also can increase endorphins. Additionally, spending time with loved ones can help you distract yourself from problems,
Big time,
share
yeah.
your feelings, and get advice or feedback.
Especially, if you have good relationships with that loved one. Well, of course, we're not talking about like you sticking yourself in a situation with loved ones that unfortunately, you have problems with. We're talking about, but like good scenarios here, just to be clear.
If you're not comfortable getting feedback from a person,
Yeah.
you got to work on that relationship.
Yeah.
I think that was like a big part in my training.
Okay.
We always had feedback. Lord Jesus. Oh my God. Everything was feedback. Feedback, 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 feedback. They used to say feedback Fridays. And I'm like, why would we do feedback Fridays?
That doesn't sound like the Friday
that's
I want.
Yeah, exactly. That's before the weekend.
They try to make it sound cute, like a happy hour, and it's
Yeah.
not.
And I'm like, no,
It's
I
not.
don't want to hear feedback right now, actually. But it's an important thing. You need to be comfortable with receiving feedback. You need, especially, and when I say feedback, I mean constructive.
Right. Not
I'm
just shitting on you.
Shitting on you. That is
Yeah.
not feedback. Okay, I'm talking about constructive criticism.
That's toxicity.
And the same way that you receive feedback, the other party should also
100%.
ask you for feedback on them.
Yeah, it should be a two-way street,
It's
a
a two-way-
conversation.
yeah.
You know, not just a monologue.
Yeah, but maybe not on a Friday.
No. You don't want to start your weekend on a bad foot like that, of thinking of how many ways you fucked up the week, and now you're being
Every
called out
time my
for
attendant
it.
would come and be like,
Oh,
feedback
God.
Fridays. I was like,
God, what a way to sour your weekends, you know? And because then
I was escaping it.
if you're like me, then I will spend that whole weekend thinking of how I massively disappointed my attending or whatever. And I just, yeah.
And it's not always negative feedback. Doesn't
Right.
have to be negative. They
No, if
are
it's
very
positive,
good.
great, you
They're
know?
very good about positive and negative. But how it's just like,
But you know, what's going to happen? You're going to get one.
how about we just go out for a beer?
Yeah. Maybe we could do this over a beer.
Yeah, exactly. Anything. But why sit down face to face in an office?
Oh, God.
You're tired from the workday. I have 8 admissions that I need to complete before the night team comes on.
That sounds exactly like what you
Feedback
don't want to
Friday
do.
is not right now. But anyways, okay, I'm not trying to shit on the attending. I appreciate that they cared enough to give me feedback.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So, social support can buffer the negative effects of stress on our body and mind by enhancing our psychological well-being, increasing our self-esteem, and making us feel understood and valued. It can also help us cope with challenging situations by providing us with information, resources, or assistance. And of course, social support can reduce the physiological response to stress, such as lowering blood pressure, heart rate, and cortisol levels. So it's not only mental, but it's also physically. Yeah, you get these benefits. So
Definitely. We're changing those stress hormones. They're lowering. We're happier. It's gonna have some effect. So spending time with loved ones can also help us cope with challenging situations by giving us a sense of perspective, meaning, and purpose. Having a strong and supportive relationship can also increase our resilience, which is the ability to bounce back from adversity and overcome certain obstacles. Moreover, it can help us find joy and gratitude in the midst of hardship and inspire us to stay motivated and hopeful. I mean, that is self-explanatory.
exactly.
I mean, I think all the stressors that I've had in my life, if it wasn't for my friends and loved ones, it would be very difficult
Absolutely.
for me to push forward.
Because if you're having like a hard time, a hard moment, or you're just going through a rough patch in your life, it's good to feel that you at least have those people that you could fall back on
exactly,
that
your
could help
support
you.
system.
Exactly. That support system is such
Essential.
Exactly. It's an essential net to have for all of this, for self-esteem, for everything, you know?
Yeah.
So stress does impair our immune system, as we've mentioned before, and it makes us more vulnerable to infections and diseases by suppressing the production and function of white blood cells, which are essential for fighting off pathogens. Chronic stress also causes inflammation, which can damage our tissues and organs and increase risk of chronic diseases such as cardiovascular disease, diabetes, and cancer. Additionally, stress can affect our behavior and lifestyle, such as reducing our sleep quality, impairing our nutrition, and increasing our substance use, which can further weaken our immunity, which is true. I mean, if you're just getting stressed, everybody knows it. There's countless studies out there showing how bad stress is on the body in every way, mentally, physically, like in every way, it's going to manifest poorly. So if you have loved ones that you just feel more relaxed with, you could vent, you could talk, you could have a good time with, laugh with,
Yeah.
it's going to alleviate that, you know?
Yeah, and we kind of talked about it a little bit in our previous podcast episodes. I can't remember which episode exactly, but we talked about the ACEs, the adverse childhood events.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's like, so basically the amount of stress that you had as a child, depending on the different types of stressful scenarios,
Yeah.
is how likely you were to develop a comorbidity or chronic diseases in the future.
Which is fascinating. I had never heard of that. And that's incredible how that is. I mean, that just proves how much what you have in your mind, what you're going through internally, emotionally in your mind, psychologically, how it could deeply, deeply impact you in a physiological way to give you chronic diseases like diabetes. Like that's just
and it's like
incredible.
And it's a link that we finally have something to quantify or at least to measure, because before it was just maybe a thought,
Right, a theory
or something along the lines of a questionable situation.
Okay.
But now we've been seeing that we've been able to do research retrospectively. We took people that have these chronic diseases and then we asked them about their childhood.
Exactly.
And then now we see a pattern.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's amazing. And it's just so much proof of how much we got to take care of our mental well-being, because it will not only stay in your mind, it will start trickling down in other ways.
Yeah, for sure.
You know?
I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
I'm sorry. Okay, so spending time with loved ones may lengthen your life by reducing the risk of mortality associated with social isolation and loneliness. So I actually found this pretty interesting.
It is, yeah.
Because people that are put in isolation, they
lose their marbles.
They lose their marbles, exactly.
Absolutely. Like we see it with prisoners that are put in solitary confinement.
Yes.
They come out like messed up.
No, there are individuals that truly make up people.
Yes. To compensate,
and to have a relationship.
Isn't that wild how the mind has to
do an episode on that?
Yeah, hell yeah. What the fuck was that?
What?
Did you hear something?
I heard a car.
Oh, it was a car, right? Okay. All right, never mind.
And I'm like,
I'm here like talking about like make believe people, and I'm like, what the fuck was that?
You're scared of that, but you're not scared of La Llorona?
No, I wasn't scared. I was just like, remember, I have an abandoned house literally right in front of me, so I'm waiting.
Oh, did you see the new construction?
Yes.
Nice.
I know. I'm hoping that like a bulldozer just like goes a little bit too much this way and then like bulldozes a freaking abandoned house. That'd be phenomenal. Yeah. But I'm always looking out because there's like a bunch of weird, shady ass people that sometimes squat over there, and
Well, yeah.
So that's why I'm like, did you hear something? Like, who's that? Who that? You know?
Anyway. But you guys have a good alarm system here.
No. Yeah, I'm not worried about that. I'm just most like that. But anyway. Massive tangent.
Anyways,
sorry.
Okay, so social isolation and loneliness are considered as major public health issues, as they can increase the likelihood of dying prematurely by 26 to 29%.
That's astonishing.
That's crazy.
That's astonishing. And it makes you wonder, I know this is sad, but seniors that are living alone.
Yeah.
So it's perpetuating to their quality of life and then their death coming sooner. So I wonder if there's a link to like seniors that pass away on their own here, and then you hear about all these seniors like in Europe and all that, because in Europe it's very, and I'm sure in other parts of the world, but the ones that I'm thinking of right now are the Hispanic types of Europe, like Spain, Italy like stuff like that, that people live pretty much us here, that it's like with their parents still, because till they die, you know, and it's just like a living thing. And then the parents, like my mom does, she takes care of MR when I can't and when Mario can't or whatever. So it's pretty much that same role over there.
Yeah.
I wonder what would be the correlation or the difference, like how much longer do they live over there just because of that, not because of diet or whatever, versus here, seniors that are put in homes or they just live by themselves in an apartment, a condo, whatever you name it, you know, there's a lot of them that they just live alone. So I wonder what there is out there.
That's interesting. I'm sure there's something
there has to be. But the fact that they were able to like see these numbers, 26% of premature death.
1/4.
Ooh,
1/4.
That's a lot.
Yeah. And on the other hand, having strong and supportive relationships can protect us from premature death by enhancing our psychological well-being increasing our self-esteem and making us feel understood and valued.
And self-esteem is very underplayed on how important it is for the psyche.
No, it's extremely important.
Extremely important. And I don't think that many people give it the importance because they feel self-esteem is correlated to like vain or vanity.
No.
But it's important for the person.
Yeah, no, you need to have a sense of self. You need to have a sense of self-worth.
Exactly.
We see a lot of those personality traits
Yes.
kind of alter and maybe change in the future.
Yeah. It's important. And even for kiddos, I feel like now, because I have a kiddo and I've been down this route actually recently, that we have to take care of their self-esteem for their academics. As soon as they lose like confidence in what they're doing in school, or they start feeling it's too hard, or I'm not smart enough, or whatever, like all those type of things, it really, really messes with their future capabilities at school, academically only. So it's just very, very like, I feel like a lot of people don't talk much about that, you know?
Yeah. So furthermore, spending time with loved ones can encourage positive, healthy behaviors and discourage damaging ones, such as eating well, exercising regularly, and avoiding smoking, alcohol, all of those things.
Yeah.
I don't know about that.
I don't know about...
My family definitely encourages me to drink. 4 hours with the fam, and I'm like, anyone need a glass of wine?
Yeah. But I mean, I guess
And my friends.
Yeah, well, currently right now. Cheers. But I think that what it's...
All in all, I think this is our like unhealthy behavior.
Exactly. Like if you're...
chain smoking.
Alcoholism.
Exactly.
You know,
This is
like...
not your regular...
not
of-
your social drinking or you know, not that. We're not talking about that. We're talking about...
the unhealthy version of it.
Yeah, your family will be able to be there to support you and to, you know, help you, guide you in a better path or whatever it may be, you know?
Yeah.
Anyway, so there's a scientific article called Loneliness and Social Isolation as Risk Factors for Mortality. I knew I was going to mess that up at some point, and I did at the end. Anyway, and this is a meta-analytic review published in 2015 by Julian Holt Lundstad. I'm going to go with that it's that, but... et al. In the journal Perspectives of Psychological Science, and it examines the impact of social deficits on the risk of dying early. The article analyzes 70 studies that include more than 3.4 million participants from different countries, ages, and health conditions. The article reports that the average effect sizes for the risk of mortality were as follows. So loneliness, 26%. Social isolation, 29%, and living alone, 32%, which is what I was talking about earlier. The seniors that live alone, that's what I think about in those aspects. But anyway, these effects are comparable to well-established risk factors for mortality, such as smoking, obesity, and physical inactivity. That's crazy that just loneliness could equate to this, you know?
Yeah.
This was regardless of gender, length of follow-up, or initial health status. The article also discusses possible mechanisms and moderators of this relationship and suggests that social relationships should be considered as a vital sign of health. Yeah, clearly. I mean, if we have these percentages, it's important.
And it's all about who you kind of surround yourself with.
100%. If you're with toxic people, you're not doing yourself any good.
So
you know?
I kind of think about that in that sense. If you're lonely or maybe you just don't have developed or strong relationships, rooted relationships in people with other people, I should say, then where's your motivation? Where is your, you know, drive? So what I'm trying to say is that it truly is important to surround yourself by your loved ones.
Yeah. And it could be family or not.
Exactly. It doesn't have to be family. You know, Julie and I are not family, and I can't imagine the holidays without her.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So
for those of you that thought that we were partners or something.
People thought we were partners. Clearly you haven't seen our whole entire introduction or anything like that. To our podcast and everything else. But anyways, I still can't imagine my life without her. We're not partners. So anyways, I thought that the study was kind of crazy.
I just, the fact that it's so impactful, it's so important to get 32% for living alone. That's a big percentage, you know, when we're talking about research articles and stuff like that, that's a lot. But
so social interaction is also a vital aspect of human health and well-being, kind of like what we had already discussed before. So with boosting our happiness and our mood, it increases our sense of belonging. It's, and it's providing us with emotional and practical support. It can also reduce the occurrence of depression, anxiety, and mental disorders. So I think these are kind of the more common ones.
Yeah.
You're lonely. You're going to have probably a depressed mood.
Yeah. It makes sense. Yeah.
That's, if someone told me that, I feel like that would be the first thing that would
100%.
pop up into my head.
Like you said before, we're social creatures. I mean, since the Stone Ages, that's how we've been. We evolved to be social creatures. We evolved to be surrounded by others.
Exactly. And then if you're in that kind of state of mind, then you don't really have anyone to kind of get you out of that.
Yeah.
So, and I think with this kind of information, we take this information and we need to kind of somehow apply it in life. And what this tells me is if you are a person that that maybe your holidays aren't going to be as surrounded as you would like it to be with your loved ones, find something that will fill that.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm not saying in an unhealthy way. I'm not
No, because then you're not doing anything. You're doing the opposite,
Yeah, exactly. But go do something that will fulfill you in that way. I guess an example of this, when I was in medical school, I didn't have the ability to come home for Thanksgiving.
Right.
And then again for Christmas and then New Year's. So, and a lot of my friends were in similar situations. So what we would do is we would set up a Thanksgiving potluck.
Yeah.
And I would surround myself with friends. And yes, some of my friends were very close. My roommates, my close contacts in medical school.
Right.
But in those dinners, I also had, the chance to spend it with someone else that I was not close to at all. But we ended up sharing that common denominator is that we were away from our families.
Yeah.
And we were having this social bond, even if it was just briefly, even if I didn't continue talking to that person later on in the school year or develop like a crazy relationship.
Yeah.
I still had a good time, and it was nice to not be alone during these times.
Right. And that's so important in the holidays, to just have something that makes you happy. And again, I'm going to keep reiterating it because it does happen. Don't force yourself to be in a toxic relationship. We're talking about like people that you love and care for or anything like that. And again, it doesn't have to be blood related. It doesn't have to be family. It's just like Evie said right now, her friends from medical school and then friends of their friends and stuff like that. So that's important.
So socialization can have a benefit in our mental health by stimulating our brain and improving our memory and learning. So when we are not as anxious, when we're not as depressed, when we are more clear, focused,
calm,
not so foggy brain, we're able to have better memory.
Yeah.
We're able to learn things better as well because we're not so distracted in that part of our brain that's anxious and depressed.
Absolutely. And you could even tell that, as if you guys are listening that are students, or even if you remember back when you were students, me, when I was anxious or I was upset or anything like that, I couldn't solve a physics problem for the life of me. Anything that I had to really concentrate and really think about how to solve it, or if I had to memorize like freaking glucogenesis, remember that? There's no way I'm going to be able to memorize really intricate things like that if I'm in that state of mind. So this makes total freaking sense. No way. You got to be like in a clear, more calm.
You have to take a break.
Absolutely.
You got to take a break, get away from it, and then come back to it.
Yeah.
So, that was our talk.
Yeah, this one was a little shorter, but we felt you guys are busy anyways with the holidays. So we wanted to keep it short and clear and remind you guys that, hey, the holidays are, they're a little hard, but they're pretty good for us all in some way, somehow, even if it's not with your immediate family because you can't make it there or whatever the case may be. Like with whoever it is that's your social circle, it's a good time.
Company.
Exactly. Good company for this time of the year is essential. Yeah. And even if and let's say you are isolated for whatever reason, maybe there's a volunteering opportunity.
Yeah, anything. It's what I was trying to say. Try to find something that will fill that void.
Yeah.
And somewhere along the line, you're going to find someone with that common denominator, that feeling that you have. And that's something that you can bond.
Absolutely.
Bond with.
And I feel like volunteering is a great way of doing that too. In this season, if you're particularly looking for something to, socializing it out there for. Volunteering is a great way of doing it for any organization. It could be for children, it could be for adults, it could be even for animals, for an animal shelter or whatever. But you'll be able to talk with other people that are sharing that same interest and that same drive to be there to volunteer. So you guys at least have that already in common. And then, you spend some good amount of time with that other person that you have at least a baseline of a common factor,
Yeah.
But yeah, anyways, thanks for tuning in. Thank you for all the new subscribers, all the new followers that we're having. We're really, really excited and we're so happy to meet you all.
Yeah. And keep on bringing in the requests.
Absolutely.
What episodes you guys want to hear.
Absolutely. Please comment or send us an email, DM us, whatever it is with any suggestions. Like, we love them because medicine is so broad. There's so much to talk about. We have a massive list that keeps growing every day.
Yeah.
But we definitely bring out, for instance, last week that we did BPD. And it was already a topic that we wanted to talk about, but we made it a point to bring it up now because a listener had requested it. Yeah. So we'll do the same thing. Anything you guys think about or something we haven't talked about or you want more information on something, let us know. We're here. Anyways,
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. Have a good one, guys.
See you later. Bye.